families could go. We still do go in the summertime. If it's a hot weekend, people go. But don't get me wrong, it still looks like this in certain areas. But what's coming up in a moment has drastically changed. I remember when I was 7, 8, going to sandbanks. Here we go. Here's the gardens I'm talking about. These gardens are beautiful, but are now full of drug addicts, thieves, injecting heroin, smoking crack cocaine, ketamine, drinking copious amounts of alcohol, having hits in the bushes, doing it on park benches. Here, where you all here, this is the area. So this is my promo video for my upcoming video on Citizen Louis Goes to Bournemouth. It's just as beautiful still, but the demographics of the people and what they're up to have changed. A lot of the drugs are run by the Somalian gangs.
Impact of illegal immigration on the once idyllic seaside town of Bournemouth. Just what has happened in that remarkable and unique location? Let's get the views of a man very close to this story. Norman Brennan, former police officer and director of the Law and Order Foundation and founder of Knives Destroy Lives. Norman, great to have you on the show. Welcome to Talk Breakfast. You know Bournemouth very well.
Yeah, I certainly do. When I was a serving police officer, I was on a major incident room. One of 2 detectives that was assigned to go to Bournemouth, and I took dozens of statements over several weeks. And it was coming up to Christmas, but one thing that stuck out was what a lovely area. It was clean, it was tidily, it was friendly. Rarely saw any crime. Liaised with the local police. They were always about. There weren't major issues, and it was a lovely, idyllic seaside town. I actually bought, with a friend of mine, a holiday let in Southbourne, which is 1 mile from Bournemouth, and I had that for a number of years, up until about 12, 13 years ago. And I regularly visited Bournemouth and stayed at the Marriott. I deal with homicide, and even when I was a police officer, I used to look after homicide families, so I often went down from Twickenham, where I live, to stay in Bournemouth, and it was lovely. Nothing could be further from the truth now. It's not just illegal migrants, but illegal migrants that are there in 3 particular hotels have caused absolute havoc throughout the town. Businesses, people that live there and people that visit there regularly tell me now it's a shadow of its old self.
Well, I didn't know, obviously, it doesn't take a genius to work out there's going to be migrant hotels there. But I will be going to every migrant hotel, guys. So, and I'll be doing what Dutch Travel Maniac did. I'll say, if you notice that these migrant hotels, the security, I'm sorry, they're not native to this country. They're fucking migrants as well. But you will see a different side to me. I am super manipulative, right? I can be a slippery character, right? If you ever get stopped with the police, Do you know what the worst thing you can do is be arrogant, be rude. The best thing you can do is say, evening officer, afternoon officer, how can I help you? Oh, well, you were doing this and doing that. Was I? Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm sure you've got more important things to be doing than wasting your time telling me off. You know, you feed them what they want to hear, so it rubs their ego the right way, and you might get a bit better results. And another ploy is, say I get booted away from the hotel, I'll just go and wait round the corner. And, when I see migrants coming in and out, if none of them want to talk to me, I will follow some of them, see where they go, see what they're up to. And it's going to be over a Friday, a Saturday, and maybe a Sunday. I have thought about staying down there, but there's no point, as it's like a 45-minute drive from my front door to that pier you see in the background. So, yeah, I'll just pay for multi-story car park every day. And, I do know a few people from a home city that actually live down there. They're drug addicts now, but they're living rough. If I could get hold of any of them, I'll do my best to try and get hold of some of them, because some of them would tell the brutal truth, especially if I gave them a bit of money to go and get some beers or whatever they want. Bribing them to talk, of course, because what they would say would not be bullshit. It would be the brutal, honest truth. Anyway, let's listen to Norman Brennan.
And they don't feel safe and they don't enjoy visiting it. And that must be very worrying for the tourist trade that cover Bournemouth.
Most definitely. Dan from Kent has messaged in, Norman. Bournemouth used to be a hub for stag and hen weekends, but not now. No hotels to stay in. And this
It's
from
fucking
Mark, who
dangerous.
says, good morning, I live near Bournemouth. If I have to go into the town, I always go in the mornings before midday. It feels quite safe and relaxed at that point. Afternoons are not so good, and quite a few dodgy-looking individuals hanging around. Evenings and nighttime, I never go near the place, ever.
Well, I think it epitomises what many towns...
Yeah, nighttime in the UK is a different animal. Early morning, early afternoon, England, you wouldn't know there's a problem. But recently, I had some psychopath last week jump in my car and put a knife to my jugular. He got confused who I was, what I was doing somewhere. Yeah. And you know what? It just brought it home to me why I'm setting up and doing this. I'm not copying Kurt Kaz or Dutch Travel Maniac. I'm not doing what they're doing. I'm doing it my way, my authentic way. None of them have been to Bournemouth. None of them have been to Bristol, where I'm going. But I'm doing the most dangerous places that I live near, right? Bournemouth is a 45-minute drive. If there's heavy traffic, maybe an hour and 15 minutes tops. But, there's something called it's all country roads. There's something called the 7-mile stretch. When you're at the bottom of the 7-mile stretch, you're in Boscombe. Yeah, that's where Bournemouth football ground is. Boscombe is a shithole and is very dangerous even in the fucking daytime. But I'm not so interested in Boscombe because I'm interested in Bournemouth. And I will act double agent maybe ask someone to school me some drugs and try and get in a circle of where these people are doing and what they're doing and what they're up to, what their scams are, how it's, because people are being scammed, ripped off, robbed. I want to see it clear as day, and so I'm going to have a secret camera on me, to film all this, especially with the lead up to Christmas. The last time I was there, I had an argument with one of these junkies, and he called me a nonce. I said, "Say that again," and I said, "I'll fucking." I said, he went, and he said it again, right? And he's a big lad, and he ran. Once he saw how well I could look after myself, he absolutely shut himself. And trust me, I'm a big bloke, and he's bigger than me. But I do boxing training 3-4 times a week. I'm fast as fuck, and I punch very hard. And I was smashing the fuck out of him. Nobody calls me a fucking nonce. I don't give a fuck who you are. But a secret camera is imperative if I want to get the lowlifes that are ruining Bournemouth on camera, because otherwise, I'll just get attacked for having a camera out on show. But, that's part of the fun, I suppose, as well.
In Britain have become due to illegal migration. It's the topic that the government tried to avoid by calling all of us, and I have a concern myself about what I see and hear. I report on major crime daily about the devastation that illegal migration causes Britain. Now, getting back to Bournemouth, the stabbings have gone through the roof. Rapes have gone through the roof. Antisocial behaviour is out of control. And as I said, people don't feel safe. And I'm regularly told, sadly, but it's not a one-off concern, that the locals rarely ever see the police. I know Dorset police, or I know Dorset very well indeed. My ex-partner lives in Weymouth. I saw it.
He is absolutely spot on. The last time I was down there, I saw not one copper. They normally go around in pairs, yeah? I saw 0 police officers in that park area, but I saw maybe 100 drug addicts as I walked through the park. It is enormous. It goes for miles and miles, right? Sat on park benches. I thought they were smoking vapes. So I looked closer, and they were smoking what I think was crack cocaine. It is truly unbelievable.
The house that they bought down there, and I went and stayed many times, and all I kept hearing about was how the illegals that were feel unsafe, that we had the bibby barge. There will be crime. We know that there will be issues. However, when these are imported issues, and not imported that we want, that are causing this sort of disruption, where there are murders, stabbing, acid attacks,
hang on a minute.
rapes,
He says, what we want. Well, if we didn't, someone obviously wants it because they're letting it happen. Do you know how easy the British government could stop these boats from coming over? They could click their fingers, put the British Navy in the English Channel, right? Have Marines there, SAS, MI5, MI6. MI5 could do a sweep with the special forces to get rid of all the people in the hotels, deport all of them, like literally deport the lot, right? And we would put up a massive line, like a wall of defence in our waters, that they know that you can't fucking come here anymore. You don't need those schemes, one in, one out bullshit. Yeah, that's absolute rubbish. Yeah, you need, like Donald Trump says, strength is through power is through strength. You show them you don't fuck about with us, or you will get fucking taught a lesson.
Girls being attacked, abused, insulted. Shoplifting has gone through the roof, along with all the other crimes in Bournemouth. One has got to say enough is enough. And that is why I understand a number of locals have put together what is called a safeguard team. That's where they walk the streets during the day and at night to try and keep their fellows.
So, yeah, I'm going to leave it there on this one, right? This is only a month old on Talk TV. I've only just come across this video, right? So I was right to think Bournemouth would be a great place to start. Look, even if you're watching and you're a lefty, right, and you believe in open borders, you believe in helping asylum seekers, look, I would be seen as centre-right or maybe far-right in some people's eyes, right? But I'm from a multicultural family. You know, my grandmother came from Belize in Central America. My mum's half Belizean. I'm quarter, you know. I've got nothing against legal immigration. I've got nothing against these asylum seekers personally. What I have got against is them coming here illegally, taking advantage of our good nature, our goodwill, by stalking our women, raping our women, raping our children. I mean, there's even been sexual assaults on men. I think it was an Eritrean man was caught masturbating in the bushes, not 20 foot from a children's play park. Just think about that. Now, if you're still listening and you're a lefty who thinks that we're all far-right Nazis, you need one, I'll give you some advice. Stop listening to the mainstream media. Still watch it, but watch something else, an alternative to the mainstream, right, that gives not a far-right, an alt-right view, right? In your eyes. For me, it's just a common sense view, right? What I'm going to be showing from Bournemouth is going to be shocking. Absolutely shocking. It's going to blow your minds. It's going to blow your fucking minds, people. You have no idea the state of once a beautiful seaside town as Bournemouth. The potential that place has got. I mean, it's real estate up the road. Sandbanks is the most expensive real estate in the whole country. It's more expensive than London. You know, that's the areas we're talking about, right? And not 2 miles down the road, we've got all this going on. So, like I said, I will be going to the migrant hotels. I like what Dutch travel maniac did, tried, you know, saying, I want to come into the hotel, get a room for the night. I'll do that for a laugh at one of them. But what I will do is I will wait nearby and I will follow some of the migrants. And, if some of them want to talk to me, they will. And that's where a GoPro will come in invaluable, right? Because I'll have my camera on my selfie stick, you know, so it looks like I'm filming, but I will have a GoPro that goes around my chest and it looks discreet. I can pretty much hide it. You know, I'll have a scarf on and it will be basically in between, in the scarf. Yeah, you just won't be able to spot it, mate, right? I haven't got the GoPro at the moment, so I'm gonna have to buy one. But just doing some research before I went down there has done me the world of good, because I want to make. I'm not trying to copy people like Kurt Kaz and Dutch Travel Mania and other people that do this sort of content. I'm doing it my way, and my way is like this for me. Bournemouth. This is going to be a 2, maybe 3 day mission. I might go down there on a Thursday. And when I say mission, I mean, it doesn't sound like much action starts until the afternoons. So, you know, but nighttime is the most dangerous time, especially if you're a woman. You know, like the watch I've just received for Christmas. It's worth an absolute fortune. Giorgio Armani, you know, and I dress very smartly, you know, that's just who I am. But I'll be wearing my £15 Temu watch, and because it's by the seaside, I just wrap up warm. You know, I'm not going that. It's not a fashion parade for me. It is eyes on. Friday night, Saturday night, into Sunday morning, and then I'll do one, and then I'll put all the footage together for you, and I think you're going to be shocked, because as far as I know, no one's done a video like I'm planning on Bournemouth yet. So get ready.